Hi, everyone. My name is Zita, and I welcome you to Zita's Healthy Beginnings. And it's Tuesday evening, and we're having our podcast, World of Women Podcast, every Tuesday here at 8 p.m. Eastern. And today is October the 25th. And this month, as I have always shared with us, is the Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And sorry, not Breastfeeding Awareness, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is very critical because when we talk about women, there's a whole lot that women share. There's a lot that women bring to us in our families, in our own individual life, in community, and the global community as well. And so this month is a critical month. It's a month we all want to remember every year. And it is very important because we know, we've heard some women who have been through this whole traumatic experience of suffering from cancer, breast cancer. And breast cancer used to be a deadly disease let me say, over 20 years ago. But thanks for innovation in treatment modalities and science have really come a long way. And now we have a lot of situations where women can really make it. They survive breast cancer. A couple of weeks ago, people that watched our program saw one of our friends who was really breast cancer survivor for the past 14 years. And we are still advocating for women who have breast cancer for them to get all the need, all the care, all the needs, everything total, comprehensive and holistic healing. So this evening, I welcome one of our friends, Emalu Pinrod, who is here with us. She's going to talk to us about who she is, what she does. And let me tell you, she is a mother, grandmother, an accomplished woman, a writer. She also has her own program. So I'm going to really welcome her and have her tell us a whole lot about who she is, where she comes from, share with us all she has to. And please sit back, relax, and get your questions and comments ready at the end of this her presentation. So Emma, over to you.
Thank you, Zita. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity. I love what you're doing with World of Women, and I wholeheartedly support it. I'm, as you mentioned, I'm a wife, mother, grandmother. I'm a retired school teacher. And before I retired, I just felt a strong desire to start a business that would enable me to support parents, especially parents of children with special needs. And I feel the importance of families. And this being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I know that families are critical in supporting a woman who's going through this and letting her know that she's valued, loved, cared for, and assisting her, supporting her in helping her meet her physical and emotional needs. I see that as the beauty of families, immediate families and extended families. In my own family, I've had some sister-in-laws and extended family members who have had to deal with breast cancer, and I know how much that family support can mean. I view families as the foundation of society. I want you to imagine living in a culture in which all members of this society have been raised to be caring and to be able to take care of themselves, to be emotionally intelligent, And what a wonderful world it could be if we could strengthen all families to be able to do that. And it takes a lot of effort. So I love to, as you mentioned, I have a TV show on Win-Win Women, and it's live on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And the recordings are available. They're also on my YouTube channel. If you just search for my name, Emmylou Penrod, on YouTube, it would come up. But again, going along with this mission of helping women understand their worth, how much they can contribute and how much they can do. I think as women, we tend to focus on our faults and see our shortcomings. We could go through a day and do 20 things, complete 20 tasks successfully, and make one mistake. And when we go to bed at night, we tend to dwell on that one mistake.
Right.
What a mistake it is to do that. Why not focus on what we can do right and how we can help others? And I think that's in our nature. We feel this desire to reach out to others, to nurture. And we limit ourselves and we limit our ability to do that when we focus on our failings. So I love your message, and I love your reaching out to women of the world. I really greatly admire that. So I do a similar thing. You know, when you become a better person, you become a better parent. And I think the airlines got it right when they said, put your own oxygen mask on first. We need to take care of ourselves. We really can't teach our children to believe in themselves if we don't believe in ourselves. And, you know, we want our children to learn these skills, to learn how to be confident and competent, how to be successful in the world. And the most effective teacher for your child is your example. As you develop confidence, you learn to believe in yourself. You learn how to manage and express your emotions appropriately, how to accurately identify the emotions of others and respond appropriately. Then you're able to teach this to your children. If you've read the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, you'll know that studies show it's more important than your intellect, your IQ. Believing in yourself, being able to handle adversity, being resilient, being able to bounce back will help you move forward and progress in life far more than having intellectual smarts. So, and I think that this is also something you're sharing with women, that we can play to our strengths. I think the most successful setting for a woman is one in which she is encouraged to develop her personal strengths. She's not given a rigid role. She has to live rules that she needs to live by and limited into what she can do. But she's able to pursue her passions, her interest, and contribute with what she does best. So I have great admiration for that. And of course, in working with families, I talk a lot about relationships, learning how to communicate effectively and how to build that trust, develop that rapport. And, with our children, the ultimate role of a parent is to accept their children where they are and love them as they are now, while you are training and guiding them to become an independent, self-sufficient adult. And sometimes as we think, I just want my children to be happy, I just want them to have what they want, that isn't always what's best for them. We need to ask ourselves, what will help them reach this goal? Is doing this for them, will it help them to become independent, to learn that they are capable? And so that parenting role is so complicated. You start out with this helpless infant you need to care for 24/7, make all the decisions for them, and then over time they grow. They learn to do more. They can start feeding themselves, dressing themselves, making their own decisions. You need to have that relationship that transitions through those phases, giving them the independence they need while still providing the guidance and preparing them to be completely on their own. The teen years are, I think, the most challenging. That's when your children are faced with decisions that could have lifelong consequences. And don't you want them to have that trusted mentor who can hear them out, have their best interest at heart, and guide them? And even better, if that trusted mentor can be you, if you have that relationship with them, that you've created that safe space for them, that they know they can talk to you. So these are all aspects of family life that are important and that I value. And again, I see the value of extended family, of being able to support each other, especially in cases of illness and any other challenge that comes up, such as the breast cancer, if there's a diagnosis. Now, I'm old enough to remember when we didn't talk about it. It was kind of not allowed. So I'm glad to see that now we're being more open, and a woman can get the support she needs in, not only the physical care, but the helping to realize she can still be, or she still has value, and that there is hope. I love that. Like you said, it used to be women died from it, and it's not. Now there are more and more survivors. So I'd love to see how families can help in supporting women with that. Now, another area that is dear to my heart as a retired school teacher is education. And what I encourage families is to know your child well enough to be able to identify the educational setting that works best for them. I think for most families it's the local public school, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes especially if you have a child with special needs, some learn better in different settings. And being aware of that, looking at the options you have wherever you live. There are some charter schools, some private schools. Knowing the options available to your child, identifying the best setting for them, and then being that active participant. If if a child has special needs in the public school system, they're placed on an IEP. That stands for Individual Education Plan. And the goal is to help that child progress as they are able and to, again, move towards independence. And it's a federal mandate that meetings are held at least once a year, more often if needed. And the parents are part of that team. And sometimes parents feel intimidated when they go into this room and here are all these professional people with advanced degrees. But remember that you are the expert on your child. No one knows your child as well as you do, and no one has the lifetime commitment that you do to your child. So be an active participant. Use respect, appreciation. People respond far more to appreciation than criticism. And be an active member of that team in deciding what is the best way for your child to learn and develop and get the skills they need to provide for themselves as an adult. And then the emotional intelligence, just learning how to recognize your own emotions, learn from them. Emotions they're neither good nor bad. Emotions have energy, and we can use them to reach our goals. Sadness teaches us what we need to change about our lives. Anger motivates us to take action. It's taking the time to make sure you're taking the action that will bring you the long-term results you want and not just make things worse. So as parents learn this, they're able to teach this to their children. And my website is healingyourfamilies.com. I have more information there. I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And I mentioned my YouTube channel. So this is what I do. It's important to me. I love it. And I feel my mission, my objective is to make the world a better place by strengthening families. So, and loved, Zita, hearing more about World of Women and what you're doing, and can't have families without women. We have a very vital role to play there. As a mother, you're actually your child's first teacher. If you understand how your mind works, you have your conscious mind. That's a part of your mind that you're most aware of. That's what you know. That's the information you take in with your senses. But a larger, like an iceberg, the part of the iceberg beneath the surface is your subconscious. And that's like a huge database. Everything you've ever seen, heard, everything that's ever happened to you is stored there. And that's where those mental programs are written that determine how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world around you. And parents are the master programmer for their child's mental programs and their subconscious. So the way you talk to your children, the way you treat each other in front of them, the way you treat your children is teaching them, is helping them learn to believe in themselves, to trust other people, to believe that they're capable and that they have hope. So I love to encourage parents to be aware of that marvelous opportunity for helping their children. Those first 7 to 8 years, that's when you have the greatest influence over your children. That's when you can really help shape them. And then if you start building that relationship with them then, and keep it, maintain it with respect. You treat them with respect and you teach them how to treat you with respect. It just grows and evolves, that relationship, as they grow. And now I'm at the point now where my children are all adults. And there's that loving tie. I have so much respect and appreciation for them. From time to time, they may even come back and ask me for advice or just tell me what's going on in their life. And I value that. That is precious. So, are we ready for questions? Or I haven't kept track of how long I've talked.
Thank you so very much, Emalu. Yes, for that wonderful, it's very informative. It is also educational for most of us. I know that parenting is really tough. I don't have children of my own. I am a sister. But I have all my life, I have been in touch with women, with children, and even as a midwife, like I shared earlier, I have really held hands with our mothers, trying to educate them, going one-on-one, trying to let them understand what it means to really raise kids. It is not something that is one size fits all. And it's something that nobody actually prepares you 100% to do. It's something that you learn it on the job, Therefore, that requires you being open, being really in that situation where you want to learn and unlearn and relearn. And what is important, like you rightly put it, is that whatever you do, remember to really form yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. So, and then sometimes action speaks louder than words. So your kids will really be there looking at you, watching every step you take while you're trying to be their parents. You want to really be that mentor. You want to be that role model for them. So I'm glad that you are in the position to really help parents and help them, guide them to do their work. And one of the ways you've just shared that is, first of all, people have to know who they are. When you know who you are, you learn your emotions, it really goes a long way. And then acknowledging that we're all human. Nobody knows it all. Nobody gets it all. But we grow, from listening to people like you, from learning even from our children, because they also have certain things to teach us. That when they get stubborn, you don't just want to hit them in the head or really get so frustrated to the point that you want to disown them. You're learning from them. They have some, teaching to do for you, at least, if not for any other thing, but to be patient and just listen to what is going on in their life. I was talking to one person a few weeks ago, one of the young mothers who was she shared her frustration with raising her kid. And I said to her, I'm sorry, but listen, I don't think that any of us as adults really are going through what these kids are going through right now. They have a lot at them. Just look at it. Look at what is going on in the cyber base. Look at what is going on in the internet. Look at what is going on everywhere. That's a lot that these kids are handling at this point. So just be patient with them. Even try to make time to find out, how are you really coping with all of this? Share with them and let them understand that during your own time, you never had to struggle with all this internet stuff, trying to do everything, trying to meet your teacher online, trying to do this, catch that, just to let kids know that they are really standing a whole lot right now, that none of us had that experience. And so we don't know how difficult it is for them. It can really set some kids really off balance. And if parents are not paying attention, they can really make the situation worse for their kids. So please listen to your kids, listen to how they're trying to grapple with all these challenges that are coming at them. And Emily, you will agree with me that when parents really try to listen to their children, kids are able to open up and share challenges. But when you
Absolutely.
so when you try to make them feel belittled, or even let them know that, wow, when you were like as old as they were, that you were doing this, you were moving mountain, you kind of make them depressed. They feel depressed and they feel, well, my parents are not there for me. Maybe I'm useless. Maybe I'm not really up to it. If my parents are looking at me and really putting me in this kind of box, maybe I should look elsewhere. And that is when we start losing them. So thank you so much for spending this time and telling us and teaching us what it means to be a parent. And also in your own program, I am very confident that women who tune into it, and men really, will learn what you're trying to get across to them, knowing that all of us are all in it together. But if we can listen and collectively see how we can help our population, especially the kids, understand that, yes, we are there with them in thick and thin, that we understand what they're going through, they will really be open to us and share what it is that is bugging them. And it makes life easier both for us and also for their teachers. Because when a child is not open to her parents, you can imagine what it would be like with a teacher. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, and I'm going to open it up for conversation. Please, if you have any questions, unmute yourself, ask your questions, make your comments. Hi, Hannah. Yeah.
Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's always a pleasure to see you, and you're so inspirational, Zita. I mean, you're just I love you. You know that.
Thank you, Hannah. I love you too.
I know. And Emma Lou, your presentation was amazing. I really enjoyed it. When you were talking about cancer, you heard about the BRCA gene. The BRCA, it's a gene that that women have that make them more susceptible to cancer. Well, we found that in my husband's family that they had the BRCA gene, and my sister-in-law did have breast cancer many, many years ago before they discovered the gene. But years later, and her both children are doctors, they researched. One of her children had the BRCA, the other one didn't. And because of this, my daughter, who she should live and be well, she had everything done prophylactic when she was about 43, 44. She had her children, but she made the decision to be proactive and have everything done prophylactic. And I did encourage her. She got a lot of, encouragement. She got through it. And thank God, she should live and be well. She's doing very well. And she's supporting others, who have breast cancer or just diagnosed with breast cancer. So, this is very important today. And Emma Lou had a wonderful presentation. And I also have a grandson who's autistic. And I know my daughter-in-law was very proactive with him, made sure he got the right schools and programs, and he's 21 now, 22 actually, and he's still in a program, and he's nonverbal, so it's not that easy, but he's still doing, and my daughter-in-law is very proactive. So, I admire these women, and they are helping other women with what they've been through. So, I mean, Emma Lou, do you have a podcast, Emma Lou?
Yes, I do. In addition to the weekly show, I have a podcast called In Support of Families. But and usually those are just, I am playing the audio recordings from my weekly TV show on that one. So I have the Healing Your Families on the Win-Win Women network, and then the podcast In Support of Families.
What network is that? Healing Your Family. What network is that?
That's Win-Win Women. So if you just went to winwinwomen.tv, then that lists all of their shows, and I'm on on Wednesday.
Oh, that's great. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, I absolutely would love to connect with you. You have your information in the chat.
It was put in earlier, but it probably was put in. I guess I should put it in again, because I don't know.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. But it would be very inspirational, Emma Lou. I mean, I really, it just it touched me very, very much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your comments. Okay, I just put my LinkedIn in the chat, and everything is, I have all my, oh, yeah. Let me put this is the link for my TV show right here. That's my LinkedIn LinkedIn page has most of my contacts, but that's the next one is the direct link to my TV show.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I just connected with you on LinkedIn.
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah, I got your information. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
That's great. Yeah, and Emily just also mentioned that tomorrow at 6 p.m., correct? Is that 6 p.m. Eastern?
6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So they're going to be having the win-win
and
women.
That episode will be how to resolve conflict without contention.
Okay. How to resolve conflict without contention. So the whole thing about family, women, and everything, we were just saying a few minutes before the podcast that it looks like it's coming from every angle now. Women are beginning to waken up to the fact that it's,
And globally, I connected with some women from Kenya through Facebook. And we're all the same, all over the world. We want to improve our communities.
Absolutely.
We want to support each other.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Me too, yes. I have few women connect with me about, I think a month ago. Two of them had autistic kids. And they have read a whole lot online about it. But where they are, they don't live here in the United States. Where they are, there isn't a whole lot of support, to families that have this special care need, children. And it's like some places are even seen as a curse. So that if you have a child with a special need, you don't even want to talk about it. So people don't see you, in a certain way, which is sad. And with this whole global movement of women beginning to, understand who we are and who we're called to be, that we can ask one another, support one another, with any kind of resource that we have, especially like we are talking about it right now. So women know that it's not something you want to really, keep down there. No, this is a need, and you're not the only one in the whole wide world. A lot of people are going through it. Know that this is a need, and that we're here to support in any way, shape, or form that we can. And know that this is something that has been there. It's just that with technology right now, where we have better communication, and now people are able to voice some of these problems that in the last 10 years we were not even able to share. So I'm glad we're talking about it. Kat, you had raised your hand or indicated you wanted to say something, please.
Yeah, I don't know that I raised my hand. I just probably had that look on my face that you're.
I know.
So Emma Lou, I'm the resident punster, and so what we're going to do is we're going to bring out, Zita's Healthy Beginnings. It's all about healthy babies, but just to run with that idea of healthy beginnings and even focusing more on that last word, beginnings, I want to ask you a little bit about, like Zita says about, answering what we're called to do, or getting out there and doing what we're called to do. And you obviously found yourself called to do this. So can you give us a little insight on your journey specifically, where you go from teaching to setting up your business to getting involved in Win-Win Women? Give us the milestones and progress us through from being wonderful, just being a teacher. Like if you just hung it up, from being a teacher, it'd be job done, but you're doing all this other stuff. How did that all open up?
It actually goes back even further than that. I would say I'm claiming age 11. I remember when I was 11 years old, and I was just carefully observing my parents. And I had the great fortune of being raised by wonderful parents who loved each other, and they loved us, and we knew it. But I just watched how they interacted, how they treated to each other, the way they talked to each other, the way they talked about each other when the other one wasn't there. And I just remember deciding, I want a marriage like that. So I learned, the value of family at a young age. Then I got married and raised my family and had a teaching career. And so I was able to observe families from the outside as I interacted with the parents of my students. And just, there's a lot of challenges in raising a family. I developed a deep understanding and compassion for that, and desire to do what I could to help. I could see that some parents would be frustrated when they met with the school district. There wasn't good communication. They didn't feel like they were being heard. And I wanted to help bridge that gap. So I actually started my podcast just before I retired, and started working on writing my book. And I started this in my last year, just knowing that, I really wanted to provide parents with useful information. And I also feel like, we really, sometimes as a society, we're pretty critical of parents. Parents will take their children out in public, and strangers will stare at them. They're making too much noise, and mothers are criticized if they breastfeed their children. They're criticized if they don't, if they bottle, it seems like quite often they get a lot of criticism. So I wanted to just give them something positive, give them useful information. And then as you're, networking, Happy Neighborhood Project, love that. Have met so many wonderful people through that networking. And you start gravitating to other people who have similar ideas. And so that led to connecting with Women, becoming a show host with them. I also found another group called Wise Family Group, and they target millennials. And as I go along and meet so many other people like Zita that have this goal of making the world better. You know, we hear so much negativity on the news. It is just refreshing to meet people who have hope, who have positive energy, who want to do something good, who don't want to just complain. They want to make a difference. So that's what led me to this. And I do feel like this is what gets me out of bed every morning. This is my purpose, and I love it. You know, I've had people saying, well, when are you really going to retire? And I don't know that I will. I think that when you're learning, you're growing. And I love being pulled out of my comfort zone, you know. There's a lot of growth with that. So, does that answer your question? I'm being kind of vague.
Oh, that's all good stuff. That's exactly what I was looking for, and more. I didn't know, boy, age 11. Wow, that shows the importance of parenting. And
your children are paying attention. They're watching you.
Right.
Don't think they aren't.
Yeah, and speaking of paying attention, aside from family, you and I met February 27, 2021. And now I look at your YouTube channel like I could have back then, but I'm looking at it tonight with you being on the show. And wow, I'm realizing I'm behind on your lesson plan. You know, all these parenting tips. I got to do my studying, folks. The teacher has called me in, and I got to get back to my learning. So all you parents out there, get on that YouTube channel.
Well, you know, that's part of the learning curve. You know, now I'm a baby boomer. Now I need to learn technology. And boy, has that. And I did. When I started my podcast, I invited two of my granddaughters to come over. And one was 12. And she just sat down at that computer and just zip, 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 zip. Okay, Grandma, you're set up. And I thought, so the YouTube channel, it needs work. You know, I'm learning. But that's a whole new world, you know.
You're doing a great job, really. You're doing a great job. And yes, we have to use whatever help we can get, you know, be it your granddaughter, be your grandson, be it anybody that can really help you to bring this message out there, because that is what is important.
Yes.
You know, and we all keep growing in so many ways, like Kat just said about parenting skills and parenting tips. You can't get enough of that. I think you're going to continue to get that until your own daughter is ready to start being a parent. So there is no end to that. And that is really exciting for parents to know that you can just get enough of parenting tips. And you don't get tired of it, because this is something that has to really do with life. You're a nurturer. You're going to continue to nurture yourself as well as nurture your kids. And it is a good thing, know that whatever you do, you're leaving your mark on your kids, so that whatever they become tomorrow, you have a part on it. You know, you have a share on that. And Emalu, I like for you to please talk to some group of women that I know. Sad enough, statistics has it now that up to 70% of American families are being raised by single mothers. Yes. And it falls down to what we're talking about, mothers. And these are women who juggle life, juggle job, juggle everything, you know, and also have to carry the babies in their belly, have to give birth to them, nurture them. You find out that's a lot of work. And some of them are like, at some point they feel like giving up, and rightly so, because when you get overwhelmed, you don't even know where to start. So what are the tips you want to give to them? How do you really support them in this whole process? Because we know this is our reality.
Yes, it is. In fact, last United States government figures are showing that it's actually maybe not even half of students of children under the age of 18 are being raised by their biological parents. Single parenthood is on the rise, and I think they need our support more than any other group, and refrain from being judgmental. I'm old enough to remember when it was a shameful thing, and get past that. The woman needs support. She needs encouragement. So, if you see that there's a single mother in your neighborhood and you have a son about the same age, when you play ball with your son, include her son too. It's, they need positive male role models. So a grandfather, an uncle, a good neighbor who can fill that role and just support this mother. And she's doing double duty. Like you said, she's got to be the breadwinner, she's got to be the caregiver, the nurturer, all hats. So they need that support from extended their community. If they can find other single parents and have a support network, that is huge. And again, just love and accept. Don't judge. Don't be critical. Know that she's doing the best she can. And what she needs more than anything else is for someone to tell her what she's doing right. She already knows very well all the mistakes she's making. She knows what's not going well, what's wrong. Point out what she's doing well. Let her see. Make sure she knows that just by doing her best, just by loving her children, she's doing a great work. And help her. And also that self-care, volunteer, take the kids for a while so she can go to the gym, do something that rejuvenates her. And for the single mothers, even if it's just a few minutes a day, make self-care. Self-care is going to be more important than anything else. Even if it's just a few minutes of quiet time before the children wake up or after they've gone to bed, or trading childcare with another single mother. Just protect that time when you're taking care of you. You can't pour from an empty bucket. Take the time to fill your bucket, nurture your soul, and then you'll be more a better mother. You'll be more effective. Then you can give more effectively. So community around her, do everything you can to support her. Help her see what she's doing right. And then to single mothers, let them help you and create your support network, because you have a huge task before you.
Thank you so much. I like the idea that you mentioned self-care, because I can't emphasize that enough. There's a whole rise in depression among our mothers right now. A lot. And it's scary. It really gives me a lot of concern. And I'm like, if these are mothers are struggling and they're having this kind of mental health issues, I don't know what the future holds for them and holds for the kids. So yes, trying to find that 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a day is really great for you, for your own sanity, and then for people to really shower our single mothers with love, understand what they're going through, and just love them. Like you said, judgment is not going to help us. It's really going to escalate cases. Support them, because none of us, it could be any of us, and all we can do is nothing but to support one another in any way you can. And please let them know that they're doing their best. And our single moms out there, I'm glad you're listening. And Emma Lou is really also applauding your effort. Keep doing what you're doing, but please take care of yourself. And Hannah, you have something to add?
I was just going to say this about mental health today. And my first career, I was a teacher myself. And way back in 1967, I started teaching. But today, what I see today just makes me so sad, with the mental health. And look what's happening in the schools, the shootings. So there's so much going on today, and my children are both in education themselves, and I hear what they're saying. And I always encourage my friends who are taking care of family, or they have children of special needs children. I always say to them, please take care of yourself. The well is dry. It's self-preservation. It's not being selfish. And thank you for saying that, Zita. I was going to say the same thing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I think this has been a wonderful time, and a great information that really goes really a long way to support families, support women, support men, and letting us understand what we need right now, to be healthy and happier and to feel fulfilled in our lives. So please, tomorrow, don't forget to join Emma Lou at her podcast event. Is that the
The show. Yeah.
the show? Yeah,
Live
at 6 p.m.
It's live. Yeah, live at 6
Yes,
p.m.
yes, and we are really glad that you have this time with us. And please come back. We're going to certainly bring you back to continue to support, our families, and educate us more, on the importance of raising kids. And please, this podcast is brought to us by the Word of Ability podcast in collaboration with Transform You Network and Park. We are so glad for the opportunity to use this platform to reach our audience. And I'm so glad that we are here today. And please come back next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and listen to another powerful presenter who will be showing us the way forward in taking care of ourselves and taking care of, our world. So thanks for being here. Thanks for all we have shared, and all of you that have contributed. Those of us who are watching online, I'm glad that you got all the information and you also got the links. Please visit us and listen to this podcast replay at your own time and learn more from Emma Lou and what she does to make our world a better place. Thanks, Emma Lou, for coming, and thanks everybody for being here. Have a great night.
Emma Lou, is that 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great.
So
Thank
we
you,
look
Emma Lou.
forward to joining you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you for inviting me, Zita. I've enjoyed this very much.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you all for being
Bye.
here. Have
Thank
a
you
good
all.
night.
Good night.
Thank